Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I will talk about the Python modules and packages. As your Python programs start getting bigger, one of the first problems you run into is organization. At the beginning, everything feels easy. You have one file and a few functions, maybe a couple of variables, but slowly your project grows. You add login logic, maybe database logic, and then API calls, utility functions, and so on. And suddenly, one day, you see the Python file becoming very large with 500 lines, then 1000 lines, and now finding anything becomes painful. So that's exactly why we need to use Python modules and packages. They help you organize large code bases properly. So once you understand this, your projects immediately start looking more professional and easier to manage. Now let me show you the problem first. So imagine we put everything inside one file like this. So you have a lot of functions, the login function, register function, send email, calculate total, and it keeps growing every day. So we put everything. Now when I run this program, it works perfectly fine. So you can see it calls some method function and it prints the value as expected. But imagine this file becoming thousands of lines long. That's when projects become hard to maintain. So instead of putting everything in one file like this, Python lets us split code into multiple files, and that is called a module. So what is a module? A module is simply a Python file. That's it. Every .py file is a module in Python. So let's create our first module. So I have already created the modules here. For example, the math utils, and inside I have moved the add. I have created some methods for adding and subtracting. So let's see the project here. Here I have the main file, and then you can name it any proper name you have. So I have this modules which are nothing but the .py. So for database I have a .py and I have database methods. You can put it here, and utils you can have a add, subtract, and as you write more and more utility methods, you can add it here. So it helps in organization, and you might have some helper methods here, and you can put in this module named helper. So look what happened. Instead of stuffing everything into one file, we separated the responsibilities. All the helper methods go here in the helper module, which is a .py file, and that is the module, and all the utility methods go into this file. So this is the beginning of code organization. Now one important thing beginners get confused about this is this line. So now when you have the organized modules here, you can rewrite this program. All you need to do is import you don't need to call the methods, they are now moved to this modules, so you need to import those modules. So what you do is you write this import command, import code, the line import math utils, or here I have utils module, the name of the module, and let's see what is inside the module. There is an add method. Now I can call the add command, access the add method in that module. So you can see what happens. You can see that print add is not defined. So import utils, so you need to say utils dot add or math utils dot add. So you can see it returns the addition of these two numbers. Now this is one thing beginners should not get confused about this line. The import, what this does is that Python what it does is load that Python file, the utils.py, which is a module. So it loads that module so we can use its functions and access to the functions like this. utils.add or utils.subtract. So instead of importing the whole module, we can import specific functions. So you can say, instead of import utils, you can say from utils import add. So it will import only the specific function. These utils might have, in the future you might be adding more and more, add, subtract, square root of, or other etc methods. But if you want to import only specific function, you need to use this. So when you import the specific function add, now this full thing is not required. You just simply can call the add, and this add comes from this util, so it works the same. And this is very different. So what happened is, we no longer need the utils.add. We can directly use the add like this. So beginners often ask, so which one is better? Is importing the full module? Yeah, importing the full module is cleaner for larger projects because it avoids the confusion and naming conflicts. Because you might have this module having an add method, and you might have some other module that might have the same add. So if you use the from util import and import the specific add, for example, you might be using this for large projects. You cannot use this. So if you have a database module and it might have the same method, so this might cause confusion. So in large projects, you might have the same method in different modules. So for large projects, you should always import the full module. So you can say utils.add or database.add, so that both are valid here. But for large projects, as I said, you import the full module. Now imagine your project has many modules. Like here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 modules. But what if your project has hundreds of modules, and now your project folder starts getting crowded with many module files? So that is where packages come in. A package is basically a folder that contains multiple modules. So instead of keeping everything in the top level like this, we organize them into folders. Now let me show you another project where I have created the packages. So you can see there is a package called util, which is nothing but a folder, and I have moved all the utility modules, the email utils, helper, all the utils are grouped under one package. So this is a simple package structure. You can add as many folders. For example, a DB folder where you have DB modules or other utility, date utils, or any other module organized into packages. So this may look strange at first, but it is useful. But here you can see that I have this strange thing called init.py, the underscore, and this is very important file in Python packages. So why do we need this? Traditionally, it tells Python sometimes this folder, this is empty, and that's perfectly fine. Now once we have a package, you can now import the modules from this package. So when you have a package, you should always use this init.py. So this tells Python that treat this utils folder as a package. So whenever you create a package, simply put an empty file here with the exact name like this, underscore init, and then 3_.py, and that is to tell Python that this folder is a package and it has a lot of modules in it. So now let's look at the main program. So here I have the same imports here. So we have the package name and the module name. We are importing the whole module, and hence we need to specify the whole path. And when we run this program, it works fine. So you can see that it goes to the particular package and then go to the particular module, and in that module, when I say add, it goes inside that package, the particular module and the method in the module. So that is what happening here. So you can see here how it looks very organized. When you have the packages, we had the modules initially to organize our methods, and then to organize our modules themselves we use the folder, which is the package. And in bigger e-commerce applications, I here have an example here. Your folder structure may look completely like this, organized into various packages. So you can see the payments package, and you see in all the packages have a file called init____.py. So this tells Python that these are packages, and you put the relevant appropriate modules here. So connection module inside the connection package, and all the payment related modules inside the payment package. Now this looks very organized. So all the database logic stays together, payment logic stays together, and the same way the authentication logic stays same. So this is how large professional projects are organized. Now we saw this, and we also saw the main method where you can see how the imports are done. So now your application can access the code from another package directly, and when you have the from format. So here we have the actual package and then .add. But if I say from utils, or you can say from utils.mathutils, import the add method, because that is the method we have. So we have the add method. So we are importing the specific method, just like we did in the other messy project where we did not have packages, but we have package here. So we have the package.module and then the specific method in that module. Now you don't need to specify this long name. We can directly access the method. And remember, this is not good for large projects where you might have the same add method across many modules. Modules and packages are not just about making your code look nice. They really solve problems. There are many benefits of using the packages and modules. Namely, they improve the readability of the code, they make the debugging easier, they allow teams to work on different parts separately. They also help reuse the code. And one of the biggest thing is they prevent huge messy files when you have many files here. So another important thing, as we saw in this demo, is the naming conflicts. So you should always avoid the specific methods when you have the same method name used across many modules. So that's how important it is. So we get this project organized. Now one of the advantages of modular programming is the same thing I described here, which is the names are organized according to the module. So you can say that database.connect or api.connect. When you have connect method across many modules, and when someone reads the code, they can see that this connect belongs to the database and this connect belongs to the API. If you don't have any modules and if you directly call the connect method, it becomes very difficult. It's confusing to everybody. But the modules help you understand, read the code, improves the readability. So if you just follow these ideas, your projects will already become much cleaner than most beginner code bases. And that's really the purpose of modules and packages. They are for organization, readability, reusability, and scalability. Now, once you start building larger applications, you will realize this is not optional anymore. It becomes necessary. And that's it for this video. If you like this video, subscribe, like, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.